Hello everyone, welcome back to Warren's Everyday English. Continuing from our previous video, we're going to go over the next part of the story as we discussed. Now in the wrestling unit, Greg is trying to move up to a higher weight class to avoid wrestling with Fregley. To better understand the narrative, I recommend starting with part 1 of this episode, which is available right here. The football unit is coming in the spring, and they split the teams up into shirts and skins, and I always get put on skins. I think they do that to make all the out-of-shape kids feel ashamed of themselves. If I can pack on some muscle now, it'll be a whole different story next April. Tonight, after dinner, I got Mom and Dad together and told them my plan. I told them I was going to need some serious exercise equipment and some weight gain powder too. I showed them some muscle magazines I got at the store so they could see how ripped I was going to be. Mom didn't really say anything at first, but Dad was pretty enthusiastic. I think he was just glad I had a change of heart from how I used to be when I was a kid.
Muscles were gross.
But Mom said if I wanted a weight set, I was going to have to prove that I could stick with an exercise regimen. She said I could do that by doing sit-ups and jumping jacks for 2 weeks. I had to explain that the only way to get totally bulked up is to get the kind of high-tech machines they have at the gym, but Mom didn't want to hear it. Then Dad said if I wanted a bench press, I should keep my fingers crossed for Christmas. But Christmas is a month and a half away, and if I get pinned by Fregley one more time, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. So it looks like Mom and Dad aren't going to be any help, and that means I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands, as usual. So let's go over the key expressions from the book. Split something up into. Right, so this expression means to divide or separate something into smaller parts or groups. In the context of the passage, the football unit is divided into 2 groups, shirts and skins, which are the 2 teams. And they do this to create a distinction between the 2 teams based on their physical appearance. The shirts team is composed of individuals who are wearing their shirts or tops, while the skins team consists of those who have taken off their shirts and tops and are playing shirtless. This is done so that there is no confusion as to which player belongs on which team. Get put on. So in this context, get put on means to be assigned or placed on a specific team or group. Greg is always assigned to the skins team during football, which he perceives as a negative experience. Let's go over how get put on is used in these sentences. Every year, I seem to get put on the night shift, and it's really affecting my sleep schedule. Or, I don't want to get put on the project with a tight deadline. It's too stressful. Out of shape. So to be out of shape means to be physically unfit or not in good physical condition. Greg mentions being out of shape, which indicates that he is not in good physical condition or is physically unfit for the upcoming football unit. Feel ashamed of. This expression means to experience a sense of embarrassment or guilt about something. Greg believes that the practice of putting them on the skins team is intended to make less physically fit kids feel ashamed of their bodies. Here are some examples of feel ashamed of. He used to feel ashamed of his accent, but now he embraces it as a part of his identity. She felt ashamed of her low grades, but with hard work, she was able to improve her academic performance. Pack on. The phrase pack on primarily means to gain or add a significant amount of something, especially in the context of gaining weight or muscle. However, it can also be used more broadly in a figurative sense to mean increasing or accumulating something, not necessarily related to physical changes. So here are a couple of different ways pack on can be used. So gaining weight or muscle, as mentioned, this is the most common use. For example, he's been working out and packing on muscle, or she's been eating a lot and packing on the pounds. In a more figurative sense, it means accumulating or adding something. So you might say she packed on extra responsibilities at work, meaning she took on more tasks or duties. The meaning of packing on can vary depending on the context, but it generally involves the idea of adding or increasing something. It'll be a whole different story. So this expression suggests that the situation or outcome will be significantly different from what it is currently. In this context, Greg believes that by gaining muscle, his experience in the football unit will be much better in the future. Get people together. So this means to gather or assemble individuals in one place or for a specific purpose. Greg got his mom and dad together to discuss his plan. Ripped. So the term ripped is commonly used to describe someone who has a highly defined and muscular physique. It's a colloquial term often used in fitness and bodybuilding contexts to refer to individuals who have very low body fat and well-defined muscles. So Greg shows muscle magazines with pictures of ripped individuals to illustrate his goal. Have a change of heart. This means to change one's attitude, opinion, or intentions about something. Greg's dad is glad that his son has changed his attitude towards working out and bulking up. I guess Greg's dad is supportive of his son's new commitment to fitness. So here are some examples to show how have a change of heart is used. She used to hate vegetables, but she had a change of heart and now enjoys a salad every day. John initially refused to go on the trip, but he had a change of heart and decided to join his friends. Stick with something. So to stick with something means to continue doing it consistently or to persist. Greg's mom suggests that he needs to prove his commitment to an exercise routine by doing sit-ups and jumping jacks for 2 weeks. Regimen. So a regimen is a structured and organized plan or system, often related to diet, exercise, or a daily routine. Here are some examples of regimen used in different contexts. She followed a strict fitness regimen, which included daily workouts and a balanced diet. Her skincare regimen involved cleansing, toning, and moisturizing her skin twice a day. The dentist recommended a daily dental care regimen that included brushing, flossing, and regular checkups. There could be more regimen examples such as hair care regimen, medical regimen, study regimen, and dietary regimen. Keep one's fingers crossed. So this is a superstitious expression that means to hope for good luck or a positive outcome. Greg's dad suggests that Greg should hope for a bench press as a Christmas gift. Christmas is a month and a half away. So the word away is used to indicate the time remaining until Christmas. It means that Christmas is a month and a half in the future or has not yet arrived. It's a way of expressing the amount of time left before a specific event or deadline. So some examples: summer vacation is just a few weeks away and I can't wait to relax on the beach. The weekend is only a day away. The wedding is still a year away, but the couple has already started planning. Have a nervous breakdown. The term nervous breakdown is a colloquial expression and means to experience a severe mental or emotional crisis, often characterized by overwhelming stress or anxiety. So Greg is very concerned about getting pinned by Fregley and is experiencing significant emotional distress as a result. Take matters into one's own hands. To take matters into your own hands is an expression that means you're going to take control and responsibility for a situation or problem without relying on others to solve it for you. It's like saying, I'll do it myself because I can't depend on anyone else to do it for me. And Greg figures out that his parents might not help him as much as he'd like with his fitness goals, so he decides to be in charge and do it himself. So that covers the second part of the story. And that's it for today's video. I hope you've learned a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.